I think the best evidence for it is ancient maps, which show the world as it looked during the last ice age.
Right now, buried in the archives of Istanbul's Topkapi Palace, lies a map that shouldn't exist. A map drawn in 1513 that shows coastlines no human had supposedly seen for over 6,000 years. Beneath these pristine waters off the Bahamas lies a perfectly straight road of massive stone blocks, a road that was above sea level when woolly mammoths still roamed the earth. This is the story of evidence that challenges everything we think we know about our ancestors. Evidence that suggests an advanced civilization once mapped our planet with impossible precision, and then vanished without a trace. October 9, 1929, Gustav Adolf Deissmann, a German theologian, was doing what seemed like routine work, cataloging dusty manuscripts in Istanbul's Topkapi Palace Library. But what he discovered that day would spark a mystery that continues to baffle researchers nearly a century later. Hidden among forgotten documents, Deissmann found a fragment of gazelle skin parchment. Drawn on it was a map unlike anything he'd ever seen. The signature at the bottom read Piri Reis, an Ottoman admiral from 1513, but this wasn't just any map. According to Piri Reis's own handwritten notes, he had compiled it from over 20 different sources, including maps from the legendary Library of Alexandria, Portuguese charts, and even a map drawn by Christopher Columbus himself. The problem? This map appeared to show things that shouldn't have been known in 1513. Look at this coastline here. For decades, researchers have debated what it represents. Some say it's an extension of South America, but others believe it shows something far more extraordinary. The coast of Antarctica, depicted as it would have appeared without its ice cap. Antarctica wasn't officially discovered until 1820, over 300 years after this map was drawn. And if this really is Antarctica, it's showing the continent as it existed thousands of years before the last ice age. To understand this mystery, we need to know about the man who created it. Piri Reis wasn't just any map maker, he was one of the most skilled navigators of his age. Born around 1465, Piri Reis began his career as a pirate under his uncle Kemal Reis, raiding Christian ships in the Mediterranean. But when his uncle died in a storm in 1511, Piri's life took a different direction. He became obsessed with the science of navigation. In 1521, he completed the Book of Navigation, a masterpiece containing detailed maps of harbors and shores throughout the known world.
The time of Alexander the Great, or even earlier, in other words, to before the time of Christ.
This is the Piri Reis map, an artifact discovered less than a century ago.
Ship captains would rely on this book for the next 300 years. But Piri Reis claimed something extraordinary about his 1513 world map. In his own words, inscribed on the map itself, he wrote that some of his source materials came from maps drawn in the time of Alexander the Great. Alexander died in 323 BC. If Piri Reis was telling the truth, he had access to geographical knowledge that was nearly 2,000 years old when he used it. Here's where this story gets truly mind-bending. When modern researchers analyzed the Piri Reis map, they discovered something that should have been impossible. The map showed remarkably accurate relative longitudes and latitudes. But here's the problem. Calculating longitude requires a precise chronometer that can keep accurate time at sea. Our civilization didn't invent such a device until 1760. Before that breakthrough, ships were constantly crashing into coastlines they thought were hundreds of miles away. Longitude was the holy grail of navigation, and whoever created Piri Reis's source maps had apparently mastered it centuries before we did. When researchers compared the Piri Reis map to modern satellite imagery, the accuracy was stunning. The South American coastline matched with precision that seemed to defy the technology of 1513. Professor Charles Hapgood and his students at the University of New Hampshire spent years analyzing this map. Their conclusion was revolutionary and controversial. Someone thousands of years ago had mapped the world with a level of precision that rivaled our own. But the Piri Reis map wasn't the only evidence of ancient advanced navigation. In 1968, 39 years after that map was discovered, divers off the coast of Bimini in the Bahamas made another impossible discovery. Joseph Manson Valentine, Jacques Mayol, and Robert Angove were exploring in just 18 feet of water when they found it, a perfectly straight line of massive rectangular stone blocks stretching half a mile across the ocean floor. The stones were enormous, some measuring up to 13 feet across. They lay in precise rows with right angles so perfect they seemed carved by master craftsmen. The divers called it the Bimini Road. But here's the connection that makes your spine tingle. Remember that mysterious island shown on the Piri Reis map, the one off the coast of North America with a road-like feature running down its center? The Bimini Road sits in the exact location where that island appears on the 500-year-old map. The last time this area was above water was over 12,000 years ago. The discovery of the Bimini Road ignited a scientific firestorm that rages to this day. In 1978, the University of Miami conducted radiocarbon dating on samples from the Bimini Road. Their conclusion? The rocks were only about 2,000 years old, formed through natural geological processes. The rocks, they said, were beach rock, a type of limestone that forms naturally when sediments cement together near shorelines. Similar formations exist throughout the Bahamas. Geologists pointed out that the blocks showed no tool marks, no evidence of human construction. The perfect right angles? They occur naturally when sedimentary rock fractures under pressure. But believers weren't convinced. In 1980, a different study using uranium-thorium dating suggested the underlying limestone could be 15,000 years old. However, this study was later discredited. The rock samples had been partially recrystallized, making accurate dating impossible. One researcher noted that if the 15,000-year date were correct, the Bimini area would have been nearly 300 feet above sea level at that time. Hardly the underwater road of legend. The evidence split the scientific community into two camps. On one side stood researchers like Charles Hapgood, who believed these maps and structures proved the existence of an advanced Ice Age civilization. Hapgood theorized that this lost civilization had been destroyed by a catastrophic pole shift, a sudden movement of Earth's crust that buried their homeland under ice. The survivors, he argued, had spread across the globe, sharing their advanced knowledge with primitive cultures. On the other side, mainstream archaeologists and geologists insisted that both the Piri Reis map and Bimini Road had perfectly natural explanations. The map's Antarctica, they argued, was simply an imaginative extension of South America. Medieval mapmakers often filled unknown areas with speculative landmasses. Underwater scenes. As for Bimini Road, they maintained it was nothing more than fractured beach rock. Impressive to look at, but entirely natural. Today, with satellite imagery and advanced dating techniques, we know more about these mysteries than ever before. Antarctica has been ice-free for over 34 million years, far longer than any human civilization could account for. Modern analysis shows that the Piri Reis map's supposed Antarctica doesn't actually match the continent's true coastline, either with or without ice.
The Bimini Road is not even very deep. It's only about 20 feet deep. It was one of the last things to be covered by Ice Age sea level rise, and that's why we show a graphic, a reconstruction of it above water.
Similarly, extensive studies of the Bimini Road have found identical formations throughout the Bahamas, all formed by the same natural geological processes. And yet, the mystery endures. Researchers continue to find unexplained structures on the ocean floor. Similar stone alignments have been reported near Cuba, off Puerto Rico, and in other locations around the world. Whether or not these ancient maps and underwater roads represent lost civilizations, they've certainly captured our collective imagination. The story has inspired countless books, documentaries, and Hollywood films. Writers like Graham Hancock have built entire careers exploring these mysteries, arguing that mainstream archaeology is suppressing evidence of advanced ancient civilizations. In 2022, Hancock's Netflix series Ancient Apocalypse brought these theories to millions of viewers worldwide, sparking fresh debates about our understanding of the past.
Did you know that you were picking a fight with academia? Because there's a lot of people that just don't want to hear this.
The front of the line for decades.
Social media exploded with theories and counter-theories. Ancient Apocalypse trended globally. Believers shared the evidence with the excitement, while skeptics fired back with scientific rebuttals. The Bimini Road became a pilgrimage site for mystery enthusiasts. Diving tours marketed trips to Atlantis, bringing thousands of tourists to see the underwater formation for themselves. The public reaction to these mysteries reveals something profound about human nature. We desperately want to believe that our ancestors were capable of greatness we're only now rediscovering. It makes you wonder what else we don't know about our past, says one believer. Maybe we're not as advanced as we think we are. But archaeologists worry about the spread of pseudoscience. Dr. John Hoops, an expert in pseudoarchaeology, argues that these theories, while entertaining, can undermine trust in legitimate scientific research. The debate has reached classrooms around the world. Teachers struggle to address student questions sparked by popular documentaries working to separate genuine archaeological mysteries from speculative fiction. Citizen scientists have formed online communities, analyzing satellite imagery and organizing expeditions to search for evidence of lost civilizations. The democratization of research tools has created a new generation of amateur investigators. Meanwhile, professional researchers continue their work, using advanced technology to explore Earth's hidden places. New discoveries regularly emerge from the ocean depths, reminders that our planet still holds countless secrets. So what's the truth about the Piri Reis map and the Bimini Road? Are they evidence of a lost advanced civilization or simply misinterpreted natural phenomena and medieval cartography? Perhaps the real answer lies not in what these artifacts prove about the past, but in what they reveal about ourselves. We are a species of explorers, forever seeking mysteries to solve and boundaries to cross. The same curiosity that drives us to study ancient maps and underwater stones today is the same spirit that will carry us to distant planets tomorrow. Whether carved by human hands or shaped by geological forces, these structures remind us that our world is far more mysterious and wonderful than we often realize. And sometimes the greatest discoveries aren't the answers we find, but the questions we're brave enough to ask. The ocean keeps its secrets well, but as long as humans exist, we'll keep diving deeper, searching for the truth that lies beneath the waves. What do you think? Share your theories in the comments below.